Not one Chelsea fan in their right mind went into this game thinking we were going to get a result. A draw would have been an absolute blessing. The fact that we've managed to score a goal this evening is absolutely astounding to me because I went into this game just fearing a drubbing, and it was a drubbing that was on the cards within 45 minutes. Arsenal went 3-0 up in 45 minutes, and I just felt and feared the worst because this team is a mess. This team has got no cohesion, no fight, no integrity. It's coming from the top all the way down to the bottom, and you can just see it on the pitch. Each game is worse and worse, and you look at a team sheet and you muster up some form of hope when you see the individual quality. The Sky Sports pundits were talking about all the individual quality that Chelsea have. Forget it. We know, Chelsea fans that have watched Chelsea week in, week out, we know how bad we are. We know that we can sink to new lows week in, week out. And that's what we did again this evening. If you would have given me 1-0 defeat before this game, if you would have said Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0, would you like to take it? I would have bit your hand off for it. Just for pride. Just for something. Just a London derby. You don't want to get drubbed. And when it went 3-0, that's exactly what I thought that was on the cards. The fact that we managed to lock up shop just about. I say that we locked up shop. Arsenal were wasteful in the second half. They really should have put the game to bed. And it really was a demonstration of how bad Chelsea are. That first half was a complete capitulation. We didn't stand a chance. We didn't give ourselves a chance. Noni Madueke was the only shining light that we had in that whole game. He came off and he can hold his head up high, and the fact that we've been screaming at Frank Lampard to play the youth, play these young players that have got something to fight for, a place, a reputation, who are not fazed by this apathy that is running throughout this team, that is contagious. It's a virus amongst this Chelsea team. It seems like there are some players like Madueke, I think even Mudryk, I think Lewis Hall, Fofana played a lot because these guys are not phased. They just want to go out there, show what they can do, and they've got something to prove. The rest of them, though, honestly, I want to get into the performances of some of these players and how bad they were and how awful they were. But I want to start with the lineup first of all, and I feel like the lineup, we went with some intent. You put Aubameyang on the leading the line, and at the end of the day, if a clear chance falls to him, he might take it because he is a clinical striker. We've seen him do it, and we know that he can score goals. But the Aubameyang we got today was the Aubameyang that deserves to not be anywhere near the squad. At the end of the day, when Aubameyang came into this team at the end of last year, and he put in some of those performances where there's no movement, there's no press, there's no aggression to get the ball, there's nothing. When he gets the ball, it's a poor touch. It's awful. I really feel that this game, it was right of Frank to play Aubameyang and to, want to get one over his old team. But I tell you, Aubameyang's mental is, I don't want to tarnish my legacy amongst the Arsenal fans. That is exactly what I saw from Aubameyang tonight. He was like, I'm not going to try too hard. I'm not going to run around. I'm not going to, give these Arsenal fans more intent to jeer me throughout the game. I'm just going to, slowly blend and fade into this game and fade away, and hopefully I'll get hooked, and I'll be in Spain in a few weeks, hopefully training with Barcelona, and I'll be in the sun. And that is Aubameyang's whole idea at this point. That's where he's coming from. That's what he's on. And it's just awful. It's disgusting. It's disgusting to see. That's another player who, honestly, you have to start pointing some of the blame at some of these players. It's not Aubameyang's fault as why Chelsea are so bad, but these kind of attitudes, to me, are far too common in the Chelsea dressing room at the moment. And I can't wait till we rid of some of these players. Goodness me. Who else? Who's next in the line of fire? For me, the midfield was awful. Absolutely awful. N'Golo Kante, he shows intent. He shows an eagerness to win the ball and to run the ball. At the end of the day, his final pass was poor today. He tried some things. He was poor. He did well at regaining possession, but I don't know why he keeps being given this advanced role. Lampard keeps trying to push Kante up the pitch and get him playing and attacking. And I just don't understand where that's ever been part of N'Golo Kante's game. His game should be sitting, holding that defensive midfield line, trying to block the lines, dispossess the other team, regain possession and give the ball quickly. Maybe beat a man or two, but distribute that ball, find the easy pass. The way Kante's been playing since he's been back is like he's almost the creator, the disruptor. Like, he's been given so many roles, and that's because he's probably the only professional that we've got at the moment in that midfield anyway, that is capable of putting in a shift. Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez. Now, I feel for Enzo. Enzo's so young. He's such a young guy. He's just come into this team. He has barely been here. He's that stardom, that quality that we saw glimpses of, and we know he's a quality player, but it has started to fade. I think the whole hoopla around Chelsea has started to get to Enzo, and I think he is not playing his best football at the moment. He's not a happy bunny. He's not really knowing what his role is. Is he there to play alongside another DM? Is he going to play in more advanced role? Just all the aspects of his game we're not utilising. I know he's a diverse player defensively and attacking, but I feel like we've got to pick one and we've got to give Enzo a role in what he can do. Because him, Kante and Kovacic, who I'm going to get onto in a sec, they were just clueless, running around. Arsenal was so easy for them to just thread a ball through, like play between the lines. The two Odegaard goals were both the midfield three, not tracking back, not getting deep enough, and not disrupting Arsenal's passes. Arsenal were just literally threading balls right through the middle of our midfield, and it was so easy. It was like a training game for Arsenal for most of that game. They didn't need to get out of second gear. We were awful, and that's because in the midfield we got absolutely schooled, and it was just night and day. They're a midfield who are well drilled, know what they're doing, know how to create chances, and we're a midfield that don't know what we're doing. We get the ball, we can't find anyone. It's a backwards pass, it's a sideways pass. We can't disrupt possession. We're absolutely awful, and the midfield really needs a revamp. I don't know if it's players, I don't know if it's personnel, or if it's just that we need to understand what the hell we're doing. What role is for who. At the end of the day, you've got three elite players in the middle of the park, Enzo, Kante and Kovacic, and we're putting in absolutely dire performances in that area of the pitch. Kovacic did find Madueke for the goal, and that was the first and only moment where he actually played a forward pass. He tried to find players to get in between the lines. Madueke was screaming to be just put in, play the ball in front of him. He wants to run, he wants to attack. We could have got in behind Arsenal so many times. Madueke was so electrifying down that right-hand side. He was trying to make things happen. He wanted the ball in front of him. No one could find him in that midfield. I think Enzo was really poor, considering that's a big part of his game, finding those cute passes. It just goes to show that there's no chemistry. Kante could have found Madueke so many times. I don't think Kante even knows who Noni Madueke is. He was playing like an absolute stranger. He never really looked up to find him, never really trusted passing the ball into him or giving him something to run onto. And it just shows how far we are from getting some sort of chemistry and cohesion. And it just, it's the same old story, but it just really is. It was a London derby where I wanted to save a bit of face. And I guess all I can appreciate is the fact that we've scored a goal and we didn't concede in the second half. These are the positives that I'm now looking at. These are the positives I have to go by. Defensively, we were absolutely atrocious. I think Fofana and Thiago Silva, they did what they can. At the end of the day, Arsenal are an attacking threat. I think Chilwell and Aspi didn't have their greatest games defensively. Chilwell has got a hard task trying to deal with Bukayo Saka. Aspi is absolutely knackered. You see him and you just know Trossard is going to get the better of him. And he didn't play too badly, Aspi, but it just wasn't that kind of performance that, we have grown to know him from Azpilicueta. He's past it. He shouldn't be anywhere near this team. Shouldn't be anywhere near the subs bench. But we've got injuries. I guess a bit of leadership in that area isn't the worst we could do, but at the end of the day, Lampard has decided to field some of these young players a bit too late. I feel like these are the players that really need to be starting. Madueke, Mudryk. Where's Fofana? You know, after this Aubameyang performance, there's no way you can't at least give David Datro Fofana a chance. Bloody hell, give him a chance. But yeah, disappointing. But as I said, you'd have given me 1-0, I would have taken it. 3-1. It's a tough one to see. It's just how far we've fallen. You know, 12 months ago we would have made this a much more of a game. Now we just roll over and die to all of our London rivals, and they've got the bragging rights. Fair play to Arsenal. They keep some of the pressure on Manchester City, but for us, it's just another L. And these Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest games are 6-pointers. They are bloody 6-pointers that we need to win, because we ain't getting any points off Newcastle, any points off Man City, and any points off of Manchester United. So, yeah, Lampard, he needs to... There's nothing he can do. There's nothing anyone can do. We need to pull a miracle out our backside to get a result, and it's not happening. Can't wait to rid of some of these players. You're bringing on Gallagher, like that's going to create goals. You're bringing on Hakim Ziyech, like he's going to do anything. Can't wait to see the back of him. And yeah, Chelsea, I keep watching, and I just want you to know it is so tough. You are making life so miserable at the moment, Chelsea FC. But here we are as Chelsea fans watching week in, week out, trying to be optimistic when we know we're not on anything. Guys, if you've made it this far, fair play to you, credit to you, because there's not much positives going around. I'm trying to do it with a bit less pessimism in my tone, but I think we've all just accepted it is what it is. But I still am worried about not picking up any points from now to the end of the season. I don't want to get dragged too far down that table. We really need to pick up a win at least against Forest or Bournemouth. But yeah, guys, if you're going to like this video, it's great. That'll be a great help. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Leave a comment in the comment box. Therapy, we need to talk about this mess that is Chelsea FC and start getting our head around what next season could be and what players we should be keeping and what players we should be selling. Guys, till the next one.